Hello, dear friends. This is Grandma Jeannie from Dollhouse Rescue. Welcome back to my workshop and welcome to my channel. I've got some fun things to share with you tonight. First of all, I've got a gift that a dear friend gave me. I want to show you what's in that bag. I've got a little trivia question for you, and then we're going to look at the Marx Rumpus Room, which is a little bit rare, very interesting. I think you're going to enjoy it. We're going to look at it and do a little rehab. Let's start out with the gift. I'm going to set everything out here and then we'll take a look at it. Okay, we've got some lovely items here. First, we have this brass bed. Now, this is a little big for my metal dollhouses, but I do have a bigger dollhouse I've not shared with you, and I think that will be perfect in there. And there's a little coat rack also that is a good match for that. I think both of those will go in that other dollhouse. And the same way with this item. Now, this is like a little hutch, and it's got little doors that are, this is plastic in there, but it looks like glass, opens and shut. The bottom part of the hutch has got drawers. Again, they open and shut. Very, very nice. Very well made. A little metal stove. And this little front door will open and shut like a cook stove. A chair that needs a cushion. And a really pretty clock. Now, this I think will fit in my houses that are 124 or 116 size. This is a real clock. It doesn't seem to be ticking. It's got a spot in the back probably for a battery, and I may explore that and see if I can get that to run just for the fun of it. But how sweet, and what a wonderful sweet gift. Now, this little item I found in my house somewhere that it shouldn't have been, and I brought it over here to get into one of my dollhouses. So that was not part of the gift, but it's very, very cute. And we'll get it where it needs to go. So thank you so much to my friend that thought of me and gave me these lovely dollhouse items. Now I have a trivia question. I have been saving these metal lids, and these came off of like cans of green beans or cans of potatoes or vegetables or things like that. And I want to know, just for fun, tell me what you think I saved these for. Now, if you watched a recent video, you will know the answer to that. But just drop me a comment for fun. Either give it a guess or give it a real answer. I may do just a fun drawing from everybody that puts a comment just for fun. I don't have anything special in mind for a prize, but I just thought you'd enjoy a trivia question. As I recently promised, we're going to take a look at the Marx Rumpus Room tonight. Now, the Marx Rumpus Room is an extra edition that came attached to a lot of the dollhouses, starting in, I believe, 1953. And I've got my favorite reference book out here, Tomart's Price Guide to Tin Litho Dollhouses, and they do talk about that here on this page. And this room, little edition, is it's meant to be like what I would have called a recreation room. In this case, they called it a rumpus room, like a playroom for the kids. It's got kind of a sport motif we'll be taking a closer look at. It came attached to either the house that we call the one with the tin soldier bedroom. There's little tin soldiers on the wall. And it also came attached to the Marx Colonial. That is the little bit bigger house that has the utility room over here on the edge, or it has sometimes a garage there. So it came with both of those houses. And I actually have two complete rumpus rooms here and kind of part of a third one. So I'm not sure what I'll do with the extra pieces, but we're definitely going to work on the two that we've got all the pieces for. Let me show you what they look like. Here's what the walls look like. Again, you can see it's got a very casual motif. There's actually a little deer head up here on the wall, like trophies, a bookcase, tennis rackets and golf clubs, a sport banner, a picture of dogs. There's some hockey sticks or something piled up. And over here, another sort of trophy. Let's look at the outside of this. Now, this came in different outsides. And this one has got the green shutters. It's white with green shutters. This one is white and also has green shutters, but look, it has a different motif. It's got like a brick exterior, and it's got a big flowering blue bush. And the third one has this same exterior on it that the green shutter had, except it's got red shutters. But otherwise, the exterior matches this one. And let me show you that Tomart book again because it shows even a fourth exterior. The Tomart price guide shows one that's completely white on the outside. So there's at least 4 different variations of those exteriors, of which I've got 3 of those here. My 3 roofs are also different. We've got gray shingles, we've got red shingles, and then we've got like a very deep red, almost burgundy shingles, a little different color. Now this one goes to this house here, and so the roofs generally match the bigger part of the house. So this rumpus room actually goes to this house that's sitting here on the back of my workbench. Let's look at the floor. This, I believe, is typical of how they came originally. Bright red, and then it's got a game printed on there. I think that's like shuffleboard maybe. This particular version, I don't know if it was originally red. I'm thinking it might have been, but now it's turned orange, just probably faded. I don't know. And it's got that same game motif on it. Now, my 3rd floor, I don't currently have out here. But I did want to show you one other thing about this house that's unique. The part over here on the outside of the room is like a breezeway. So between the house and the rumpus room, there would be an open access, like outdoor hallway. And let me show you with the roof on, kind of what that looks like there. So then this butts up against your bigger house, and you've got that breezeway porch, which I've seen decorated in really cute manners with some of my dollhouse friends. I'm not going to do a lot of work to this particular room. I have already cleaned it. It was just slightly dirty. The paper towel came back a little bit dirty. It's got a little paint gone right there. I'll probably touch that up. Even though that might be faded, it's very pretty, and I think I will leave that as it is. These top corners here are bent down a little bit. Kind of typical. Sometimes those are bent. I've got my pliers out. I'm just going to straighten those little peaks up. And then I think I'm going to call this particular one good. I'll probably go back later and actually wax it to make sure it's as shiny as it can be. And I'm going to touch up that orange floor a little bit. But let's look at the next one. The exterior of these often matches or coordinates with the big house that it came with. And this one came with this house, and it's got the little brick motif, and that matches the brick motif over here, as well as has the green shutters, which match these green shutters. So this one goes with this house. The other ones go with houses that would color coordinate with those. And again, we've got the blue flowers here, a repeat of the blue flowers back here on the bigger house. This room I have not cleaned yet, and just in case you're new to my workshop, I'm going to go over the steps on how to clean these. I like to use a non-sudsy cleaner. This is Spray 9 cleaner. Actually, I ran out of Spray 9 cleaner, and I put Awesome Cleaner in here from the Dollar Tree. Awesome Cleaner also works well, and something like 409 would work well too. I spray directly on my paper towel rather than on my house or my room. And then I just wipe everything off, front and back. You'd be surprised how dirty these can be. A lot of times in the past, people would smoke in their homes. I don't think they do so much anymore. So it's not unusual. Even if the house looked kind of clean, look how much dirt has come off. So I always give it a nice cleaning front and back. Now, if it's a cleaner you've not used before or a type of house you've not washed before, I recommend you do a test first on the bottom of the house and make sure that you're not removing any paint, and make sure that the house or the paint does not get tacky from the cleaner that you're using. So let's clean all this up. You can see it really, really needed it. As a reminder, I don't like to spray liquid directly onto the house. There's a chance if you do that you'll get liquid down in these rolls or somewhere, and that liquid might stay there and it might cause future rust. So I don't like to spray right on the piece, but I spray on my paper towel. This one also needs a little bit of straightening right here at the peak of the roof. So we'll just give them a little tweak of my pliers. And one more thing I want to say about this cute little room, or a cute little addition, is they typically have, I don't know if they always do, but they typically will have a cupola, a little white plastic cupola that sits right here in the middle of the roof. Now I do have one of those that I'll be getting out at the end to complete this house. And I think all three of these houses, all three of these roofs, all right, two of the roofs have the slots for the cupola. The third roof I have here doesn't have those slots. So apparently that did not always have the cupola on it. But many times it does. Now this addition needs very little paint. It just doesn't have any hardly damage on the walls at all. There are a few spots where there's a few little white scratches, and I'm going to use my Sharpie marker. If you have a Sharpie marker near the right color, you can try using that to fill those little scratches in. If they don't fill in, I can get my paint out and mix it up and see if we can make that look a little bit better. But let's just try this first. I am very happy with how that turned out. Maybe you notice after I'd write on it with the marker, sometimes I'd smudge it with my finger. And if I needed to, I could get my paper towel out, and a damp paper towel, and smudge it a little more. I'm very happy with that. Let's look at these floors. I've located my third floor. So we've got the one here that's kind of, it's orangier than it should be, probably faded, but it's got the graphics on there. That's pretty nice. I'm not for sure what I'm going to do with that one yet. The one that I just located is in pretty good condition. It needs maybe a little cleanup and a little touch up, but it really looks pretty good the way it is. I've already done a little marker touch up on that. The third one, however, this is one I was kind of concerned about, has got these deep scratches, and I want you to know I tried to cover those with paint because those are so deep right down to the metal. I had trouble getting those covered. I finally got them covered, but when I did, it was pretty obvious on there. Now the light scratches covered up nicely with the marker, but I've since then washed all that off, and I've cleaned it off with rubbing alcohol, so it's as clean as it can be. Again, I've removed all the paint and marker that I tried on there. Because of these scratches, I think what I'm going to do is spray paint this whole thing. But to do that, I'm going to tape off this yellow line so it will stay unpainted. Tape off over here, tape off here, tape off here, and tape off that triangle, and then spray paint the rest of it red. And I've got a nice new bottle of spray paint. So let's get that covered up. We're going to give it a try. I have this detailing tape that I got on Amazon. It's 1/8 inch wide, and I measured already. It's just perfect to cover up that yellow so that yellow will not get painted. All right, let's get it covered up. I've got that nicely taped. I'm going to use some white or blue tape to tape off this big part over here and over here, as well as probably here in the center, and then I'll use that pinstripe around the edge of it. I have that yellow all taped off, as well as this part with the numbers. Now this looks rough right here, but actually I have that red pinstripe tape around the edge of that, so that should have a nice sharp edge also. I've got this set up in a paint box. Sometimes I do my spray painting outside. Tonight, because it's cold out, I'm going to try to do it right here in my paint box. After I get it painted, I'll probably pull these flaps down to keep that paint from drifting around my room. This is the paint I got. It looks like a pretty good match color-wise. And there's what it is. And it's a gloss paint, so it should come out pretty. First, we'll shake it up, and we'll give it a paint. Then I'm going to let it dry overnight. Come back tomorrow. We'll pull off the tape and see how it looks. I bet it'll be great. I also want to tell you, those deepest scratches, I sanded them just a little bit to kind of make them flatter. Then I wiped them off again with rubbing alcohol. I let this dry 24 hours, and I actually recoated it, given another coat of paint, and let it dry another 24 hours, and it's looking pretty good. Let's see if we can get that tape off and see if we were able to preserve that yellow trim on there. Because that's kind of a thick coat of paint, I took my little X-Acto knife and I kind of gently scratched right next to that original pinstriping all the way around on both sides so that hopefully I can get that tape pulled up off of there. I didn't do it really hard. I didn't want to scratch the metal underneath, but I wanted to just kind of break that surface a little bit. Let's see if that pinstriping will come off or not. Just see how it looks. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, that was very satisfying to pull that off and see how nice that came out. I am very happy with that. I have a few tiny areas where there was a little bit of bleed through on the red. I'm going to try something like a wooden stick, see if I can scrape that off. If not, I might get my yellow paint out and do just a little tiny touch up. But overall, look, it's got a pretty shine to it. The red matched the original red here on the game board very well. I was afraid the color would be greatly off. I am in love with it. I'm very, very happy with this. I took this little wooden stick, it's like a coffee stirring stick, and I was able to easily scrape off that little bit of bleed through where the red had gotten under my pinstripe tape. So it is just nearly perfect. There's a little spot here where the original yellow was missing. I might put a tiny bit of yellow paint on there. Otherwise, I'm going to call this floor done. It's not perfect, but it looks so much better than it did. And this is my third floor, and I think it's just going to get cleaned and maybe use the marker on it to fix those tiny scratches. So I think the one that looks best, I shouldn't be surprised, except I really didn't know what I was doing, but the one that I repainted is going to be the prettiest of the three, I think. And I'm just kind of an amateur painter doing it right here in my little workshop, but I'm very, very pleased with that. And I am so glad that you have joined me on this journey. And here is the Rumpus room with original furnishings in it. Now I am missing one piece. There should be a little couch and another little red chair. But look, the ping pong table complete with little ping pong paddles, a record player and TV, little table. This is not the original one of this room, but it's similar. Should have two little chairs. I've only got one. A piano. This piano I've already touched up and painted the keys white and black. Originally this would have been all blue. There's a little piano bench in there, which I am not sure if that came with that originally. Look at this little jukebox. Isn't that cute? And probably my favorite piece, we've got two little bar stools. Look, this is a milk bar. It says milk right on it. Just love it. There's one thing missing here. I don't know. I feel like we should have Grandma in there. There she is. She loves it. And she's got one of her little friends with her, but apparently the music's turned up too loud. It's hurting his ears. That is the kind of furniture that would have come with this Rumpus room. And before we leave, I just want to show you what this would look like. There it is. I don't have this permanently attached. It will attach with tabs to the big house. I just have it sitting there right now. But look at how big that makes that house, clear down there to the other end. That makes a really big house, but it is beautiful. But thanks for joining me as we updated our Rumpus room and took a look at 3 different varieties of it. I am so glad you were here with me on this journey. I want you to remember you always have a friend here in Iowa, and Grandma loves you. Thank you so much, and please subscribe.